Okay. Good afternoon. Last time we have seen vision, mission, program education objectives, program outcomes. Then we have seen syllabus of the subject. Then we have seen course outcomes. Then we have seen what is the importance of design. And then we have seen general procedure of design. Now, today we will see remaining part, that is significance of design of component. That is why we have to design a component. Now, before going this, I will take example of our simple bench. Suppose on the bench wherever students are sitting, therefore that wood thickness, suppose whatever you are sitting, this thickness of this plate of wood is suppose 10 mm. How much it is? I think it is 10 to 15 mm. Therefore, when 3 students will sit on this bench, still that plate of the wood is not going to break, because that plate is supported by this angles or the fabrication is there. That means that bench is safe for the design. Now suppose instead of 10 mm thickness of that wooden plate, if you will provide 5 mm thickness, what will happen? This bench, this thickness is this much, suppose 10 mm. If you will reduce the thickness, what will happen? That wooden plate or this plywood is going to break. B-R-E-A-K. Therefore, that's why we have to take into consideration that design of the machine components. Now, while designing the machine components, another factor comes into picture, that is factor of safety. Whether you have studied factor of safety in machine design 1, the factor of safety means what? Maximum load divided by permissible load is equal to factor of safety. How much is permissible or how much is allowed and how much maximum load that thing is carrying. Therefore, maximum load divided by permissible load or allowed load is equal to factor of safety. Now, this factor of safety comes into picture while designing the components. Now, you just say, suppose factor of safety is small. Therefore, what will happen? Factor of safety small means what? If we will take this wooden plate of 5 mm thickness, therefore our factor of safety is decreased. That means that plate is going to break. That means factor of safety is small. If you will keep factor of safety large, that is instead of 10 mm thickness plate, you will provide 20 mm. What will happen? Factor of safety increases, but it is having direct effect on your money matters or financial matters. Unnecessary cost is increased and unnecessary wastage of money is there. Therefore, always remember, we have to take into account proper factor of safety so that wastage of money will not be there. If you will take small factor of safety, still wastage of money is there. If you will take large factor of safety, still wastage of money is there. Therefore, that factor of safety you have to take into account by considering all these financial matters into consideration. Because everywhere, let it be anything, everywhere this financial matter comes into picture. Is it correct? कुठेही जावा तुम्ही, घरात, घराच्या बाहेर, कुठल्याही ठिकाणी जावा, पहिला आस्पेक्ट फायनान्शियल आस्पेक्ट असतो का नसतो? फायनान्शियल आस्पेक्ट आपल्याला विचारात घ्यावाच लागतो, त्याशिवाय या जगातली कुठलीही गोष्ट चालू शकत नाही. Even at our home also, we are considering that this much is monthly income, this much is monthly expenditure, how much we have to save, Then again, many problems are there at our home, medical problems, some emergency medical problems, unnecessary water or savings are there. It is going in the hospital. Therefore, we have to take into consideration factor of safety while designing of the machine components. Now you just say, you are knowing in mechanical industry, the major part is gear. This gear part you will find everywhere, maybe in bicycle, in our two-wheeler, four-wheeler, everywhere in machines, whatever lathe machines are there, milling machines, shaping machines, slotting machine, planning machine, wherever there is increase in speed or reduction in the speed, therefore gears comes into picture. Therefore, if you will observe carefully, here this gear is cracked. Gear is cracked. Therefore, what are the possible reasons that this gear failure is there? Possible reason, first reason is the material selection. You are knowing that while designing or while manufacturing any component, you have to take into account material part also. This gear can be manufactured of different materials. First is plastic gears are there that are used in toys. Then these alloy steel gears are there. These are used in precision machines. Precision machines means maybe out two-wheeler, four-wheeler. Then this lathe machine, milling machine, shaping machines, slotting machine. Therefore, these are precision gears. Precision gears requires alloy steels. Alloy steel means what? Why alloy steel is used? Because it increases wear resistance. It increases wear resistance. Sometimes you are observing that cast iron material is also used for the manufacture of gears. Where cast iron material you are finding? Sugarcane juice machine you are knowing. On one side of the sugarcane juice machine, gears are there. Whether you have seen or just you are drinking that juice. Just go and observe it practically. It is there. That is one mechanical part, a component is there. Just to see how many mechanical components are there. Gears are there, rod is there, then that crusher is there. Go and see that sugarcane juice machine carefully, then you will understand how many different parts are there. How that split pin is fitted. Split pin you have studied in machine drawing subject. Therefore, this failure of the gear is due to maybe wrong selection of the material. Maybe manufacturing defects are there. Manufacturing defects you have seen. Blowholes may be there. There's some impurities may be there in the material. Or whatever this gear is there, it may be having less thickness as compared to allowable thickness. Therefore, these are the some different reasons of these gear failures. Or another is that heat treatment. Proper heat treatment is not given to this gear material or this gear. Because of heat treatment, you are knowing the heat treatment, because of heat treatment, hardness of the gear surface increases. Now just say, in Hindustan Times, this article was there, safety gear failed in Mirage crash that killed both pilots. Mirage, you are knowing that aeroplane is there. Therefore, the reason for the crash itself remain unknown from the black box. For the black box of the Mirage fighter jet has been sent to France for analysis. But the death of the pilots could have been averted if the barriers meant to stop the aircraft had held, an official said. Therefore, these safety gears are there. It may be failed. See that this failure of this aircraft You are knowing when aircraft crashes, no one remains alive. Everyone in that aircraft or helicopter is going to be dead. Now this Norwegian probe gearbox failure causes fatal 2016 crash. Therefore, in Norway, one incident has been happened that because of this fatigue fracture in the main rotor of gearbox caused an Airbus helicopter to crash off Western Norway in 2016, killing at least all 13 people on board. Norway's Accident Investigation Board said on Thursday. Therefore, this is because of this failure of the gear. There are chances that two-wheeler failure, four-wheeler failure, or this helicopter, aeroplane failure takes place. In two-wheeler also, sometimes you are sometimes you are experiencing that noise is coming from the gearbox. Is it not? Why? Because of there is no proper lubrication is there. If you will not change oil in that gearbox, if you will keep that oil for last 2 to 3 years, what will happen? Definitely that lubrication capacity of the oil decreases. We are knowing that whatever servicing of two-wheeler or four-wheelers is there, you have to do the servicing of two-wheeler every after 4 months. 4 months or 3 months, and we are inserting that, pouring new oil in that gearbox so that proper lubrication of gears will be there. Now this another part in the design industry or in machine design too is pressure vessel. Now this failure of the pressure vessel is there. Pressure vessel, have you seen? Pressure vessel. Pressure vessels means whatever you are observing on the road, tanks of milk tanker, diesel tanker, water tanker, petrol tanker. Is it correct? Therefore, that fluids or that liquids are stored in the tank under pressure, or some pressure is there. That may be less than or greater than atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure means surrounding pressure. Whatever your surrounding pressure is there, that pressure is known as atmospheric pressure. Therefore, this failure of pressure vessels are there. Where again you have seen pressure vessels, spherical pressure vessels you have seen. Where Pakni Depot, you are knowing Pakni Depot while going to Solapur. Left hand side, that Pakni village is there. And in that Pakni village, that Pakni Depot is there. Large spherical tanks are there that are used to store this petrol and diesel. Also, at our home, the gas cylinder you are knowing. Gas cylinder. Therefore, that is also one type of pressure vessel. Because gas is stored under pressure. If will that suppose that leakage of the valve will be there, you are knowing that how that gas is coming outside from the cylinder. Therefore, that cylinder is also one type of pressure vessel. This bottle is not pressure vessel because here atmospheric pressure is there. Though this cap of this water bottle is closed, but still pressure inside this bottle is atmospheric pressure. That's why we can't say that this is a pressure vessel. Also, whatever in at our home, some water storage tanks are there, plastic tanks that are also not pressure vessel. Always remember. Therefore, these pressure vessel failures are there sometimes. See that how failure is there. Boiler is also one type of pressure vessel. Boiler you have studied in thermodynamics. Therefore, that is also one type of pressure vessel. See that how this pressure vessel has been broken. Now, importance of design. First is the life of the component and second is the safety measures. Therefore, While designing the component, you have to take into account life of the component and safety measures. Life of the component is what at how much time that product is going to service properly or satisfactorily according to the needs of the customer. That is known as life of the component. And safety measures. Now you are knowing for each and everything now 1 year warranty is there. Suppose you are going to purchase mobile or anything, let it be. They are saying that this 1 year warranty is there, but you take this 1 year warranty card, and if this mobile or that part or battery, whatever it is going to fail before 1 year, then you will get new replacement. If after 1 year you will that component will fail, you will not get replacement. You have to purchase new thing. Therefore, that is known as life of the component. And safety measures means how many safety measures are included in this component. Now, this is the general theory. Up till now, we have seen general theory. Again, I will revise the general theory. We have seen the syllabus. Then we have seen what is importance of machine design for engineers. What is machine design? Then how design is born. While designing the component, we have to take into account market survey, aesthetic, ergonomic, safety, economical and recyclability. Now, what is the basic knowledge required for machine design? Maths, engineering, mechanics, strength of material, workshop processes, engineering, drawing, computing, financial limit analysis, computational and fluid dynamics. Then different types of loads we have seen. Dead loads, live loads. Live loads means steady loads, variable loads, shock loads which are applied suddenly, impact loads which are applied with some velocity. Then we have seen different stresses and strains. Stress, you are knowing tensile, compressive and shear. Then thermal stress, torsional stress, bending stress. Then we have seen important considerations in design. First is kinematics of the machine, selection of materials. So different materials are there, metals are there, non-metals are there, titanium alloys are there, nickel-based alloys are there. So now in this new era, composite material is getting developed. We have seen these properties: straightness, strength, stiffness, elasticity, plasticity, ductility, brittleness, toughness, creep, fatigue, hardness. What is the size, form and size of the parts? Now, general procedure of machine design also has in need, synthesis, then analysis of the forces, then material selection, design of elements, then modification, then detailed drawing. Now we have seen this significance of design of components. Whether you understood? So that we'll switch over to the first chapter or unit first, spur gears and helical gears. Spur gears and helical gears. Therefore, again, I will read the syllabus. Number of lectures required for this chapter is 11. First is spur gear, unit content, design considerations of gears, gear materials, types of gear tooth failures, hunting tooth, gear tooth loads, minimum number of teeth, face width, Levy's equation, Squat's equation, Buckingham's equation, that is introductory treatment, gear design for maximum power transmission, introduction to AGMA standard. AGMA means American Gear Manufacturing Association stand code. Then helical gear is there. In that we have to study virtual number of teeth, beam strength and wear strength analysis, effective load on gear tooth. Therefore, this is the syllabus. Now always remember, in this subject, numerical examples are there. Therefore, for each and every lecture, you have to bring your class notebook. Then you have to keep ready your calculator so that there will not be any problem to you while solving the problems. Now spur gear. Now in the diagram you are observing, this is the spur gear. Introduction. Any toothed member designed to transmit motion to another one or receive motion from it by means of successfully engaging tooth is called a toothed gear. Therefore, gear is used to transmit the motion or to transmit the power from one shaft to the another shaft. A gear is a toothed wheel with cut teeth or teeth cut on the periphery of a cylinder or a cone. Therefore, you are knowing that this gear is there. Earlier, that circular disc is there. Then the circular disc, on that circular disc, by using that gear hopping process, gear shaping process, gear milling process, we can manufacture the gears. Now it is preferred when medium or large power is to be transmitted. Now gears, we have to think how much power we have to transmit, how much long hour we have to transmit, or for longer time that power is required to transmit the gear. Therefore, these gears are used to transmit the power from one shaft to another shaft. Therefore, you are knowing two gears we saw. See that this is the gear. This gear is mounted on one shaft. This gear is mounted on second shaft. Now, these gears are called as external gears. These gears are called as external gears. Why these gears are called as external gears? Because the teeth are there on the external periphery of these gears. Teeth are there on the external periphery of this gear. Therefore, this external gear meshes with another smaller external gear. That smaller gear is known as pinion. Larger gear is known as wheel. Therefore, if you observe carefully, if suppose this bigger gear or wheel will rotate in clockwise direction, this smaller gear known as pinion will rotate in anti-clockwise direction. Now introduction we have seen. Now advantages of gears. Gears offer the following advantages. First, compact drive on account of small center distance. Second, high efficiency, reliable service and simple operation. Third, posture of the or positive drive due to negligible slip between contacting surfaces. Then give higher speed ratio and can transmit higher power. Therefore, these are the advantage of the gears. Next is it is possible to transmit power between parallel, non-parallel, intersecting and non-intersecting shafts. Then sixth advantage is there that power can be transmitted at higher speeds. Therefore, in case of gear, power can be transmitted at higher speeds. Now, limitations of the gear. What are the limitations? First limitation is the gear, the error in the tooth meshing. Meshing means in contact. Meshing means what? In contact. May cause undesirable vibrations and those during operation. Then costlier than belt and chain drives. Gear drives are costlier than belt and chain drives because for manufacturing of the gears, a special machine is required, special cutter is required. That means gear hobbing machine, gear hob cutter is there. Therefore, manufacturing is difficult. Then precise alignment of shafts is required. Alignment should be proper so that power can be transmitted from one shaft to another shaft. Otherwise, there will not be any power transmission. Mismatch will be there. Then required continuous lubrication. Therefore, these three, whatever these gears are there, different gears, they require continuous proper lubrication. If lubrication will not be there, what is going to happen? You are knowing that teeth on the gear will break. See that at our home also, we are taking that oil can and we are pouring, or we may be adding 1 to 2 drops of that oil wherever joints are there. Nut, bolt, gears, whatever it is. Everywhere at our home also we are using that lubrication for the doors, door hinges, you are knowing. If you will not apply lubrication to the door hinges, what will happen? Noise is coming. कार आवाज तो नाही दरवाजा नाही येत. जेव्हा तुम्ही तिथे लुब्रिकेशन सोडाल, ऑइल सोडाल, तर काय होतं? आवाज बंद होतो. Next, applications of gears. Now applications, I should not tell you, you are knowing where gears are used. The gear drive has wide applications in the following fields. First is metal cutting machine tools, that means lathe machine, milling machine, planning machine, shaping machine, slotting machines. Then automobiles. Automobiles, you will find use of gearbox at the back axle. At the back axle, that exactly at the center of the vehicle, that bigger circular portion is there. Back axle, bigger circular portion. Therefore, in that gears are there. Gears are there to transmit motion from front axle to the back axle to the wheels. Motion how transmitted in four-wheeler. Steering is connected to the front axle. Then that front axle rotates. Then intermediate shaft is there. Intermediate shaft rotates. Then that intermediate shaft is connected to that output shaft. Then from the output shaft, this speed is distributed and we are getting the proper speed of the different wheels in case of automobile. And that gearbox in case of automobile, that is known as differential gearbox. Why it is known as differential? Because whenever vehicle is going to take the turn, therefore you are knowing that if suppose wheel is going to take turn towards right side, therefore right side wheel has to cover more distance as compared to left side wheel. Therefore, at that time, what is happening? That differential gearbox comes into picture, and that differential gear changes the speed of the two wheels. Suppose if speed of the one wheel is decreased by 10 minutes, speed of another wheel will increase by 10 RPM. If suppose speed of another wheel decreases by 10 RPM, speed of other wheel will increase by the same amount, that is 10 RPM. That's why that speed remains constant. Then last is marine engines. Now classification of gears. Gears are classified in the following ways. First is parallel shafts. Second is intersecting shafts. Third is non-parallel, non-intersecting. Now when parallel shafts are there, two parallel shafts, spur gears are used. Spur gears, helical gear, double helical gear means herringbone gear. These gears are used when the motion or when we have to transmit motion or power from one shaft to the another, and that two shafts are parallel to each other. Then next is intersecting shafts. Intersecting shafts means what? If the axis of the two shafts are not intersecting, but the axes are intersecting. Axis is, what is the definition of axis? Axis ची definition काय सांगणार तुम्ही? येते का कोणाला? Axis common sense, it is an imaginary line. Imaginary line that will create two equal halves. That will create two equal halves or two equal parts. Is it correct? Atma, what is the axis of the human? Vertical axis. समजा आपल्याला असं कापलं, कशाने कापणार? चाकूने का तलवारीने? तलवार वापरायला लागणार आपल्याला कापण्याला. ते म्हणतात चाकूने कापलं असं त्याला 100 वर्ष लागतील. असं आपल्याला उभं जर कापलं तर आपल्या शरीराचे काय होणार? दोन इक्वल पार्ट होणार. Similar two equal parts are there. That's why our human being axis is vertical. This axis of symmetry comes into picture. That is known as axis of symmetry. This axis is an imaginary line. ती लाईन कुठे दिसते का आपल्या इथं? कुणाला तर ती लाईन दिसते का? बरोबर इथं बरोबर अशी लाईन आहे.
No, sir, no.
Imaginary, we have to imagine that line. Therefore, that axis is nothing but it is an imaginary line which creates two equal parts of that things. That's why this, when the axis of the two shafts are parallel to each other, then we can transmit motion from one shaft to another shaft by using these 4 gears. Actually, only 3 gears are there. Double helical gear means herringbone gear. These two names are parallel to each other. Next is intersecting. Intersecting shaft means what? Their axes are intersecting. Means what? Bevel gear. During classification, you will see bevel gear. In case of bevel gear, axis is intersecting axis. Then non-parallel, non-intersecting. Non-parallel, non-intersecting means spiral gear, hypoid gear, and worm and worm gear. Worm and worm gear, you are knowing. Worm and worm gears are there. Their axes are perpendicular to each other. Perpendicular to each other. Worm and worm gear example, you will find it in material handling equipment. Then our table fan, you are knowing table fan. टेबल फॅन काय करा माहिती का सगळ्यांनी? घरी गेल्यानंतर जर खोला पाठीमागचं ते काय 2 स्क्रू काढले की निघते बरोबर. ते कम्प्लीट तो वरचा फॅन आहे ते पण बाहेर निघतो. खाली एक स्क्रू असतो, तो स्क्रू काढला की ते बरोबर वरचं बाहेर निघतो. घरी जाऊन जरा एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन करा. काय एवढं आवड नाही ते टेबल फॅन. उघडून बघा जरा, म्हणजे तुमच्या लक्षात येईल कुठल्या टाईपची गिअर वापरतात. आणि तो तुमचा फॅनची जी पाती असतात ती फास्ट फिरत असतात, बरोबर का नाही? म्हणजे हे जे टर्न होतं जे असेंबली ती एकदम स्लोली फिरते ना अशी. Therefore, you will find their use of worm and worm gears because worm and worm gears are used for large speed reduction ratio. Wherever we require large speed reduction ratio greater than 10:1, then we require or we are using worm and worm gears. Spiral gears means what? Its axis is non-parallel, non-intersecting. एक लाइन अशी जाते, एक लाइन अशी त्याच्यावर कुठेतरी जाते. Now we see spur gears. See that these two are the spur gears. These two are external spur gears. Now this gear is also 2 spur gears are there because but this bigger gear is known as internal gear. Why it is known as internal gear? Because teeth are there internally. Teeth are there internally, and this gear is having teeth external on its external periphery. Here teeth are there on internal periphery. That's why these gears are known as internal gears. Now always remember, when two external gears are in contact with each other or are in mesh with each other, then direction of rotation of two gears is opposite. Because if this gear will rotate clockwise, this gear will rotate anti-clockwise. Means when two gears are in contact externally, direction of motion of both the gears is opposite. Now these internal gears, when the two gears are meshing internally with each other, at that time the direction of motion is same. If this internal gear will rotate clockwise, this another internal gear will also rotate. Sorry, this external gear will rotate in clockwise direction. Always remember, this bigger internal gear is called as ring gear, RING. Because it is looking like a ring. Is it correct? Also another name is there, annular gear. ANNULAR. Annular gear. See that this is the helical gears. Helical gears means what? When the teeth are inclined with respect to axis of the shaft or axis of the gear, then it is known as helical gear. See that this is right hand helical gear, this is left hand helical gear. Now how to identify right hand and left hand helical gear? Can you tell? Suppose this line I will extend, this teeth I will extend, and this teeth is going to cut axis of this gear. Axis of this gear is horizontal. If teeth is going to cut towards right side, that extended teeth is going to cut towards right side, then it is known as right hand helical gear. If this extended teeth is going to cut towards left hand side, बघा हे जी लाइन एक्सटेंड केली तर काय होणार? ही ह्या गिअरच्या ऍक्सिसला कुठे कट होणार? लेफ्ट हँड साइडला. That's why it is known as left hand helical gear. Always remember, when two helical gears are in contact with each other, right hand helical gear is in contact with left hand helical gear. See that these are known as double helical gears. How the teeth are there. Now what is meant by, what is the disadvantage of this single helical gear? If in case of single helical gear, when two gears are in contact with each other, first of all, contact point starts at the tip or point contact, and then it slowly increases to line contact. Always remember, two gears are in contact with each other, then type of contact is nothing but line contact is there. And that's why gear pair is known as higher pair. You have studied different types of kinematic pairs in the last semester, last semester, second year. Different types of kinematic pairs you have studied: higher pair, lower pair, screw pair, turning pair, spherical pair, sliding pair, rolling pair. Therefore, this gear pair is known as higher pair because type of contact between the two gears is line contact, and motion is partly sliding and partly rolling. Now these gears are known as double helical gears. Now in case of double helical gears, whatever the thrust force is there, that is going to be zero. Why? Because one force will act along this teeth, one force will act along this teeth. Therefore, these two forces will come to meet each other and they will get cancelled. That's why this, in case of double helical gear, we are getting zero thrust. Thrust म्हणजेच force. लक्षात ठेवा. Thrust शब्दाचा अर्थ काय? Force. These are the straight bevel gears. Why it is known as straight bevel gears? Because teeth are straight on the surface of the gear. See that axis of this gear is vertical, axis of this gear is horizontal. So that when you will extend the axis, these two axes are going to intersect somewhere here. This is known as spiral bevel gear. Why it is known as spiral bevel gear? Because teeth are of spiral shape. Teeth are of spiral म्हणजे एक टाइपचा कर्वच आहे, तुम्हाला माहिती आहे. तुम्ही याच्यामध्ये क्लास आला ग्राफिक्स मध्ये टाइप्स ऑफ कर्व्स, इनव्हॉल्यूट, सायक्लॉइड, स्पायरल, पॅराबोला, हायपरबोला, इलिप्स, हे सगळे कर्व आहेत, लक्षात ठेवा. Now this is known as zero bevel gears. What is meant by zero bevel gears? Straight curved bevel gears, that we will see in depth in bevel gear chapter. Now this is known as hypoid gears. Why it is known as hypoid gears? It was developed by Gleason for driving rear axles of automobiles in 1925 in the US. It is mainly used for cars. A hypoid gear is used when the included angle is square and distance between axes are relatively small. The hypoid gear is viewed as an intermediate between a bevel gear and a worm gear machine. Therefore, these are the hypoid gears, which are, see that this is the bigger ground gear, this is smaller pinion. Their axes are separated by a small distance. Offset distance is there. This is worm and worm wheel. Just see, axis of this worm is horizontal like this, and axis of this worm wheel is perpendicular to this paper. Worm is nothing but it is a threaded screw. Always remember, worm is nothing but what? It is threaded screw, and worm wheel is nothing but here same as that of the spur gear or helical gear. See that this is what? Rack and pinion. This horizontal gear is known as rack. Circular gear is known as pinion. Rack and pinion gear is used to convert rotary motion into linear motion, or linear motion into rotary motion. Now, table 1.81 indicates the most useful needs of application of the main classes of gears. Table 1.1, choice of type of gear. First of all, relation between shaft axis, parallel, gear ratio up to 10, intersecting 7, non-intersecting crossed at 90 degree, that is bevel gear, 50, non-intersecting cross at 80 degree to 100 degree, not 90 degree, 50. Then tooth speed, meter per second, 5, 25 to 100 meter per second, here 2.5, 60 meter per second, 50, 50 meter per second. Then again, type of tooth and wheel load in meganewton per mm maximum. Helical or straight tooth 1.4 meganewton per mm. Helical gear again 3.5, helical 0.35. Spiral bevel or straight bevel spiral gear, bevel, straight bevel spiral or bevel 0.14, 0.07. Worm and worm wheel 0.44, crossed helical 0.26. Worm and worm wheel crossed helical, worm and worm wheel here 0.17, crossed helical 0.26. I think we should stop here. Is it correct? What is time? Yes, 2 to 3 minutes are remain. Let me take your attendance.